and May turned up, and boy, were we in for a shock.
Now that I didn't expect. I'm confused.
Well,
Holy crap, this video is 15 years ago. The same age as World of Tanks. That is crazy. But practically that thing. Object 430 on the hull front. A T-54 on the hull rear, more or less, but duct taped together into one vehicle. Such a stupid looking thing. ST-66 should be offered for real money. Like 40-ish bucks, right? But still. Acquired taste. Novelty vehicle. It is assault medium tank, but no health. Only 60mm hull size. Side scraping is not the best. Also along with a weak turret ring that is prominent on the hull sides as well, but turret front is strong, does have cupola weak spots, 300 alpha gun, and DPM is okay, but you'll have a better consistent time in stuff like Object 274A, definitely. So, dispersion while moving and traversing the hull is garbage. It's worse than the 274 also, but it just reminds me of that video. Originally, I rated it back in August of last year, showing up on the super test, but this is our server exclusive, I believe. Did not appear on 𝗦𝗧-𝟲𝟲's World of Tanks, but or Mironov Tankov, but rated 5 out of 10. Yeah, James May's limo fusing 430 and a T-54. Gold shell is good. I saw the stats, but side armor's crap. After looking at the actual side armor's crap. Yeah, view range kind of meh, and camo's kind of meh. So the only good thing about this vehicle is the gold shell, but let's cover all the stats changes. So DPM pretty decent, respectable, right? But kind of average nowadays compared to stuff like Carnarvon Action X, CS52. The Prototypo 6 has the gimmick, also not bad DPM 2, but they buffed the aim time. Accuracy still kind of meh. Buffed the health a little bit, but not too much. Still 60mm side armor, which is kind of crap. Longer repair on the tracks. So the only upside on this vehicle is namely the gold shell. They also nerfed the radio range. Camo is also not the greatest too. It's not like 16%, 17%, 18, 19, right? It's only 13. I mean, it's better than a patent, but that's not saying much. So the only good thing about this vehicle is the gold shell pin on the gun, which is pretty good. Gold shell on this 100mm is 290 high explosive anti-tank. Now I already played the single match with this vehicle, but it will go through upward sloped T28 proto armor, which is pretty good, right? That's 200mm slope at like 20-ish degrees, 30-ish degrees, about 260mm effective or so. But yeah, this gun is about the high explosive anti-tank, even though it cuts into your shell velocity than the standard shell. But yeah, it's a novelty. You'll have a better consistent time in some of the other Russian medium tanks, and there's a lot too at tier 8, so definitely not the craziest. But let's quickly take a look at the armor. So upper plate about 220, not bad for a medium tank at tier 8, but hull roof has the cheeks of 40 on the sides of the driver, so large caliber guns will overmatch, namely Russian 122s and above. But it's like the STRV practically, right? So only based on sloping. Bottom plate is well sloped, only 85, but it's about 250-ish. There's cupola weak spots for the commander and the loader, only 100. Turret cheeks are thick, 250, rounded, but yeah, you'll definitely shoot at Q+. Side armor is only 60. Right, 60 is not great for side scraping. Unless the tracks eat the shot, but you cannot overcommit. You can only bait with the hull front if you're side scraping, but that's not reliable, right? Also, turret ring is exposed, and that's also 60. You see that turret ring? That's unsloped if you're side scraping. So practically weak spot on the hull sides. It's not great. The quad tracks doesn't have the spare track system, by the way. So not like the Russian Yo tanks or AE Phase 1 with this layout. So they have the spare track mechanics on that part. But yeah, armor on this thing is not great. Also, it doesn't have that much health. Only 1300 health. 2 artillery shell and 1, was it 105 from a UDES 14.5 basically took out almost all my health from the gameplay, which is nuts. So exposing the engine deck, which is only 60, as well as the driver hatch. So hull roof or turret roof is 70, hull roof is 60. I mean, it's still better than 40 or 30 on some Russian vehicles, but you have no armor and no health. View range is also kind of meh. Concealment kind of meh. So very novelty of a vehicle. The greatest strength of this vehicle is the gold shell. That's it. 290mm pen high explosive anti-tank. That's its strength. You can go through stuff like the mouse if you hit it properly on the cheeks, on the turret. But otherwise, yeah, soft stats on this thing is not great. Dispersion while moving and traversing the hull is not great. It's crap also. Is it worse than some of the larger caliber guns like this thing? It's worse than the T122 TM. Ugh. What about stuff like the Chimera or the Nemesis and stuff? The British large caliber guns. Chimera. Oh, it's even worse than that. Jesus, Nemesis. Yeah, remember this vehicle? Nobody does. Collecting dust. Oh God. Is it the worst dispersion out of a tier 8 medium tank? Sort by worst. Show every result. Panther 2? Oh, that's base accuracy. That's not actual dispersion. Fine, whatever. So yeah, it's not great. By all means, it's not great. This is actual accuracy, not dispersion while traversing. But overall, I put rammer, segue into equipments. But I put rammer. What the hell is the SD6? I put rammer, definitely. Give yourself more DPM. I put vertical stabilizer on this thing. You kind of need it if you want to be wiggling about, right? Throwing off the shots and whatever. And finally, turbocharger. I was debating between turbocharger or grousers, but it seems that the turbocharger is better. Unlike stuff like the 274. So, a smaller fun fact about World of Tanks is some vehicles have garbage terrain resistance. Well, kind of garbage, but you'll have a better time with additional grousers than turbocharger in this case. So, I'll demonstrate, but quickly demonstrate. God. Segue into multiple topics. But this one using grousers. And you can see that even though you have better horsepower per turn ratio with the turbocharger, effective top speed is not as good, right? And effective hull traverse is not as good. You do rev up faster, but you're never reaching that top speed. You're never reaching 63, even though, yeah, on paper it's good. So, Object 274A is a very special case where grousers are actually better than turbocharger. This vehicle is a little bit different, so its terrain resistance is slightly better, so therefore it doesn't counteract with the grousers, but it's still not good, right? Terrain resistance is still not that great. But compare this to the Object. You'll have a better time in the 274. It's the same, wow. But you do have better horsepower per turn ratio. I don't know, this one's up to you. You could put grousers, you could put turbocharger. Try it out with tanks.gg, namely, right? But let's see. ST66, but with grousers. It's still better effective top speed going through hard and medium. Yeah, the grousers kind of doesn't do that much against this horsepower per ton ratio. The 274 has like 16, so yeah, this one's up to you. But field mods, it is mostly kind of forward-mounted engine, even though it's mid-mounted, so you kind of want less penalty to engine damage. I recommend. For stuff like the UDS 14.5, engine is in the front, so sometimes you get hit in the front, have a damaged engine, have this perk or have the better traverse, and you go super slow. So I recommend better or less penalty to your engine, and mostly the engine. It's not about the gun or the ammo rack, it's mostly about the engine and the placement. But dispersion while moving, or base accuracy, dispersion. You're wiggling about, you're moving about, you're trying to be a squirrel, so squirrel tactics, camo definitely. And finally, this one's up to you, but you probably have rammer and vertical stabilizer on, so there's no firepower slot, therefore redundant, but could choose optics later on if you feel like it instead of vertical stabilizer, but always put the rammer. So here's the gameplay of the vehicle, but it's not worth like anything above 25 bucks for this thing. Not really. In my opinion, it's not worth it. It's a novelty vehicle, definitely, but only upside, gold shell. Spam all the gold shell. Such a novelty vehicle. Baiting shots with the upper plate, but 40mm of cheek armor on the hull. So this plate is 40, and this plate is 40. Large caliber guns will overmatch. Side armor is only 60. Doesn't have the spare track system, I believe, but meh. Only a bully to like tier 6 or tier 7. You'll have a better time in the 274. A. God, it's the size of a freaking heavy tank. At least the gold shell is 290mm pin high explosive at the tank. That's pretty decent. Shell velocity could be a little bit better. I have the... well, that's just crashing into the ravine. I have the perk on the loader, but base shell velocity is only about 840, which is not too crazy. I mean, this is technically categorized as assault heavy tank or assault medium tank, but not really. Everybody just YOLO. Ugh. I have vertical stabilizer because base accuracy sucks. Or base dispersion sucks. Average pin. And camo's also not the craziest too when you think about it. So what's going for this thing? Mobility? It's really not that mobile. Terrain resistance is not the craziest out of a... well, let's see how good the gold shell is. If you can hit. That's high. God. Did I even hit? I think I did. That's crazy. Even though it's high, I actually hit. Alright, let's save the 703. If I can. $703, survive! Objective survive! Accuracy is not the greatest. A much better vehicle is that thing. At least more consistent, in my opinion. Let's see the gold shell. Nah. Don't have zoom mods on this thing. He's pulling back. Ha! Go through slope upwards upper plate. On a T28 Proto. That is crazy. Destroy the boxes. That is crazy when you think about it. Gold shell is pretty devastating, but I mean, that's all you can do, spam gold. Can I spam gold into this again? Is he back? Actually, everybody pushed, and we're above 7,000 health compared to 12,000? We're above 5,000 HP. Holy crap. They really push on the beach, I guess. Yeah, gold shell, fine. 290mm pen, that's very good for a tier 8. You'll go through tier 10s reliably, but only if you hit. That's a big downside, only if you hit. It's not the fastest, as you can see. Yeah, aim time is also... Also 300 alpha too, when you think about it. Yeah, not really sure of the move. 300 alpha feels kind of meh. UDES. Oh, fucking artillery hurts. Fucking artillery. Oh, luckily. Faster reload. Side armor is not. Yeah, armor is not the greatest. I took a freaking 400 hit from an artillery round, which is not great. I have faster reload than that thing. Come on! How is the artillery still alive? Yeah, it's not the most maneuverable of assault heavy or assault medium tank. It's doesn't have the spare track system and takes lots of hit from artillery shells. Yeah. High explosive loaded. I mean, in a straight line, it feels okay. I mean, this is a bully to tier 6. Not really a contender against a... I'm gonna die. Against a 274. 274 is so much better, more consistent. Only downside to it is Dispersion also sucks, but still better than this thing. High explosive. It feels okay. I mean, it's a relic. Not exactly a relic. It's a acquired taste. It's a collector's vehicle, practically, right? It's not the greatest of a vehicle. It feels funky to use. You have cupola weak spots. You have not exactly that good of a side armor. I mean, you saw how 2 artillery shell practically took like half my health away, but how many hits I even received? Only 1 pinned, 2 splashed, and almost dead. Where the hell did I get pinned from? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Oh, the UDS 14.5. Yeah, this thing. I mean, this thing. 1300 health is not the craziest for assault medium tank. I think you have a better time in the 274. Even though health is also not that much. It's more consistent, at least with the chassis. Yeah, I think it's more consistent on the 274, but mobility feels okay. It's not the craziest of mobility. Possibly because of terrain resistance. Yeah. So here is the comparison. I was trying out turbocharger versus grousers, but yeah, effective top speed is not the craziest going through mud, especially. So yeah, dispersion factor is also not the greatest. At least aim time is relatively quick, but still 300 alpha. So the upside of this vehicle, namely, is the gold shell, the 290mm pen gold punching through a T28 Proto upper plate, well upslope too. So that's kind of crazy, but then again, I was on a slightly higher elevation. Yeah. Side armor sucks, no side scraping. It's 60, so also with the turret ring, you saw it got pinned. Yeah, you can bait the shells with the upper plate, but yeah. High power guns will overmatch the 40mm hull roof cheeks, I guess, but let's see how the actual T28 Proto upsloped armor is. T28 Proto. It is a strong upper plate. Yeah, 260, 270-ish. Punch right through with a high explosive anti-tank. That's funny. So, yeah, I mean, the good thing about this vehicle is the gold shell. That's it. It's a gold spamming vehicle, but gold shell has dramatically slower shell velocity and definitely costs you the money. So, yeah, you have definitely better time. I don't even like the 274A. I think it's overrated. A lot of people consider this thing is pretty good. I consider overrated. I like more of a T44-100 of a player style, I guess. But then again, this is more versatile, not exactly assault. This thing needs a buff, but whatever. So, yeah, collector's vehicle, practically. And if it's over 30 bucks, I don't think it's worth. Hell, if it's over 20 bucks, I don't think it's worth. But then again, that's on the lower end. Let's just check the actual money before I end the video. So ST66. It's not like 7,000 gold, right? It's about the average cost of a tier 8 premium. But some tier 8s, namely the list. Where the hell is the CS? There it is. CS52 list. This thing is cheap. 6,700 compared to your 9,700. It's 3,000 gold less, and yet it's one of the most capable tier A medium tank. Well, then again, it's more like the T44-100, except more alpha damage on this vehicle, right? So, yeah, you cannot compare 9,000 gold, 9,700 compared to a 6,700. Yeah, practically. So there you go, folks. It's not exactly worth a while. It's very hard to use. Gun depression with the large engine deck in the front, right? So yeah, it's a collector's vehicle more or less, and more than 20 bucks, 25 bucks, 30 bucks, not really worth. You'll have so much better time starting out with so many other premium tier 8s, no question. So yeah, collector's vehicle. Taping two 430s into one vehicle, the front end of a 430 and the back end of a 430 from another, and split them into two. James May limo. It's a Saab and a Alfa Romeo, if I remember correctly, but yeah, this thing is practically that thing. Just taping two front ends of a vehicle into one vehicle. Alright. So as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I mean, I didn't do that much. 2,000 damage is nothing, but somehow I did better than a Scorpion for some reason. Jesus, bias, I guess. Account bias? I landed not even half my shots. Or kind of less than half my shots. Yeah, this thing cannot take a hit. Jesus. 1 penetration and 2 splash damage, and I'm almost dead from that one. That is crazy. But as always, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
思い出せるように残された目印ああえいやああふわああえやえやまるでおとぎの話終わり迎えた証私を変えた出会い100分の1の旅路